Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher. Welcome to Sweetwater's Guitars and Gear. We have a special guest with us today, CJ Pierce from Drowning Pool.
How's it going, man?
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me. I finally made it to Sweetwater.
Yeah, you had a bit of a rough start here this morning.
Yeah, the band's called Drowning Pool, but it's more like the Drama Fools. We always have something going on in our camp, but this time just getting the tour started, rolling, the bus driver broke his leg on the way to pick us up, so we had to sit there and wait for a little while, but we made it here.
Nice.
Better late than never, so
That's
the show
right.
will go on. We will make the show tonight.
That's right.
First show of the tour.
Well, you get that all out of the way, and then the rest will be smooth.
Yeah, that's out the way. The flat tires are out of the way. But I'm here at Sweetwater, and I got a bunch of new gear for the first show. I'm so excited.
Very cool. So this is the launch of the tour here in Fort Wayne.
This is the launch of the tour. The first tour for our new record just came out last week called Hellelujah.
Right.
Hellelujah. I love saying it like that. So I just recently signed with Marshall amps, so they were kind enough to send the gear here. So
Nice.
I get to dial in the new Marshall stacks tonight, and I just signed with ESP Guitars as well.
Oh,
So
great.
Chris Cornell's a great guy, and yep, they're tweaking them out right now as we speak.
Right, right. So you switched to Marshall then. What led you to make the change?
A few things. I was with the custom amps for a while, and BC Rich Guitarists, and they recently had sold a company, and all my guys that were there, my contacts, some best friends of mine, they're no longer there. The new people that work there are great, but they just have kind of a different business model. And not only that, but Marshall's just got that distinct rock tone. And we did our first record, the center record, I used a Marshall on it. And ever since then, I mean, that was like 15 years ago.
Right.
You know, you're still searching for that tone and that sound, and you make that big circle. And coming back around on the new record, Hellelujah, you know, I used that the JVM 210 that came out. I had 17 amps at the studio.
Wow.
And I did the blind test. We recorded on each amp, and just listened back, and I kept coming back to that JVM. So that's just my sound and my tone. Marshall works great for me, and a great company, as you know, Nick Olcott and everybody over there. It's like a great family. So I'm so excited to be part of the Marshall family now, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I was listening to the new album. You have By the Blood. The single is out, and you get a really thick tone. You're not scooping the mids quite as much as some of the metal
No, I'm
rock
mids
guys are.
heavy, I gained back. I think the older I've gotten, you know, you just learn that to get that bigger, huge tone. It's a one guitar player band, so I want to get a big, fat tone. And also, you know, I've gone down that path where some people, you know, stack. They do a couple different guitars, a couple different amps, different tracks, and stack it. I just put one mic on it, one guitar, one head, and go for it, man. So just keeping it simple, not too many layers on that respects as far as like rhythm's concerned. And I think you get a bigger tone from that.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, obviously the JVM, come on.
That helps, right?
That helps.
That's right.
And yep, I cranked the mids, man.
Right. And what ESP are you playing?
I have, well, they have so many different cool models. The first ones I'm trying out is FRX. I want to say it right. I don't know what that stands for, but it just looks, it sounds freaking cool, man, because the shape is awesome. I've never seen anything like that before. And we just did the NAMM convention, and I went through and checked out. You know, they have the Les Paul shapes and the SG styles, you know, all the styles, typical styles. I played on Les Pauls for a long time, and my BC Rich model was like their Eagle model, which is kind of a Strat-ish kind of shape. But this thing, man, that FRX just has a mean look to it. It's real sharp, and it's just made to shred, you know. It's just got that feel to it. So after playing on that at the NAMM show, I got back home and hit up Chris. I'm like, I think I like that FRX, man.
Nice.
So he just sent me a black one and a white one, and you guys are here putting the final like little tweaks to it. So.
Oh, cool. That's great. So are you a high output pickup guy, or do you go for lower output and then get the gain from the amp?
I've played on Seymour Duncan's forever, and I'm part of the Seymour Duncan family as well, and very fortunate to try out a lot of different pickups through them. And I love the custom and the 59. And again, I've tried all this stuff, and every now and then you're like, well, let me try these, let me try those. I always go back to those, man. So that's the tone I go for. And they're not super high output. They're more, I think, more of a rock tone than a metal tone, but I put a little extra gain on the amp there and go to town on it.
Right, right. It was interesting listening to By the Blood, because you start out with the picking part at the beginning, and there's kind of an echo thing.
So echo, a phaser. I think I put every effect known to man on that to get that kind of crazy. I have a panning. It's doing a lot of crazy stuff. I had somebody did an interview that heard it and thought that they had a bad copy of the song or something. I didn't realize I went that far to left field with it, but no, it's in time. It's all in time, and it's a crazy little thing that we do. It's a fun little intro, and then a song kicks in. So.
Right. So how do you recreate that live?
I use Digitech 1101 rack live. I do have pedals and stuff. I've been a Digitech guy since the 128 came out back in the day.
Right.
And I've been through all their different racks. I have 2101s, 2011s. I have just, my house looks like the leftovers from Digitech world. But I programmed it in there. when we did it in the studio, I added a little extra, like the panning and stuff too. I mean, live, it's not on there, but I do have that kind of going along with it as I play. So it sounds just like the record.
Right, right. I thought it was interesting also, there's a passage there in the song where you're using a wah, but you're not really doing a wah effect. You're doing more filter sweeping kind of things with it.
Yeah, that's, I'm a wah pedal junkie, I can't lie.
Yeah.
I tried to get off of it for a few records, but I just got to go back to it. I guess that's just part of the sound that we created with the first record, Sin record. But yeah, I do more of a sweep with a slow sweep instead of, a lot of people do the fast wah thing. I've noticed that that's kind of my style with the wah pedal. I like the slow sweep on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to stay away from it on guitar solos because, you know, that's definitely, I mean, it's kind of a staple thing, rock with the wah pedal, but I try to save it for like more of an effect type thing on the rhythms. I definitely, thanks for pointing that out. I really appreciate that. I try to use it different than it's been used.
Yeah, it's a distinctive effect. It almost sounds like a synthesizer filter or something.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, very cool.
Vox wah, man.
Yeah?
It's a classic Vox wah. I've had that since day one.
Nice, nice. So speaking of day one, how'd you get started? What drew you to the guitar?
My father played bass and sang in a local band in New Orleans, and I was just always around music. My grandfather used to play at church on Sundays, and I got a lot of cousins. Everybody's just kind of musical family. I've always around it. My dad was a big Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin fan, so I kind of grew up listening to metal and hard rock, and I started playing at church on Sundays when I was 14.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I was ready for it yet. My mom kind of said, hey, they were looking for somebody else to play. I mean, I'd only been playing. I got a guitar when I was 11. And they were like, oh, church is going to look for somebody else. Anybody in the, you know, anybody knows how to play? Oh, my son knows how to play. Like, Ma, I don't really know how to play yet. So they threw me into it. But I got started at a young age at it like that. And I love it, man. I do everything in music now. I mean, besides Drowning Pool, I produce bands on the side. I do a lot of producing local bands.
Mm-hmm.
Got the home studio, not like this, but close. Not maybe after I leave, it'll be a little bit closer to looking like this.
We can hook you up.
But yeah, I do that. I love producing now, and then I started teaching last year. I fell into it. A friend of mine, Norman, has a school in Dallas called the Sound Foundation, and so you guys have a facility here.
Yeah, we sure
do
do.
the same thing. We do the summer camp with the kids and stuff, and I love doing it now. So I have a handful of students that I teach as well on the side. I love sharing the knowledge with them, man. It's so killer.
Yeah, I've always found that actually teaching somebody, you end up learning so much more yourself.
You do, you know, and you know, my youngest student Brooks is 7 years old, and he, you know, he wants to learn how to play AC/DC. And like, how do you even know AC/DC? You're 7, but it's so it makes me relearn the songs to teach them the songs. So it keeps me up on my chops. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah, from AC/DC to Adele, you know, it's just a mix of stuff. It's not all metal, but
sure,
it's awesome to get to do that, man. I love doing it.
Right, right. So you're doing that. You're touring. The new album just came out. Tell us a little bit about how, when you go in to begin a new album, how do you start the writing process? How does that all go down?
With our new singer, Jason Moreno, who's also a singer-songwriter, we just constantly write, you know. You get these little like pockets of some free time, if you call it that, where you have time to kind of attack songs. But we're always constantly writing. We're all in communication with each other. We bounce ideas off each other. We're excited. We brought all our gear out here on this tour to work on new songs. So after we put out the last record, Resilience, they had a delay through the record company to put it out. So we had this dead time, and we wrote a lot of the songs for this record in that time period. The second block of songs we wrote were after we were going through management and label changes.
Sure.
So the music business, so some of those frustrations come out on those songs. And then we re-released the Sinner record, the 13-year anniversary of Sinner, and toured on that record in its entirety. So for me, it kind of re-influenced me to write in that style. I mean, it was 15 years ago when I wrote those songs, so you try to evolve from there. So it kind of put me back in that mind frame. So I think a lot of the rest of the ideas, the finishing touches, if you will, to Hellelujah was influenced by our first record. So now you have that good foundation sound of Drowning Pool that people know. And I've heard that a lot. You know, it sounds like your first record. It sounds original. So I'm, you know, by default, and just a natural, you know, influence that came through in the songs, man.
Yeah, sure, sure. Do the songs start with a riff? Do they start with a chord progression?
It's so different now. I mean, for me, it just used to be all guitar. And then, you know, as you evolve, it's like bass, singing, vocal. It just depends. Sometimes I'll grab a bass and come up with a riff, or sometimes it'll be a melody and lyrics. It's always something different. I did have the song called Hell to Pay on the new record, where I had one of those moments you always read about. I've read it from other musicians where they had that moments where it just hit them and they just grabbed the guitar and a pen and paper and wrote it. So that was the song for me finally, where I was actually mixing some live stuff. We did a tour in Russia with POD, and I was mixing our live show from that, and I just stopped what I was doing and grabbed the guitar and like wrote this thing in 5 minutes. So I had that moment.
Nice.
So that was cool, man. It all came together real fast on that song.
Right, right. So then when you take those songs into the studio, do you guys have a real clear vision of exactly how they're going to sound, or do you go in with a skeleton and then develop it from there?
Every recording process has been different. We've been fortunate to work with some A-list producers. The last 2 records we did with Kato on Kanwala and some stuff with David Bendith. And the way that they approach it, I mean, they really look at every single minute second of every little instrument of everybody. I mean, we break everything down. We spent, 2-3 days, 15-hour days on like one part of one song. We went that crazy with it, which I think is great. I think, I'm proud of all those records that we made doing that style. But this time we went in with more of a rock and roll style. We're going to go in there with loosely based ideas, and we're going to hit record, and we're going to go for it. And grab a shot, get the coffee, and hit record. And that's what we did this time around. We just kind of went more with a free-form style instead of going in so super structured.
Mm-hmm.
So
were the songs tracked live then, or were you layering parts?
We pretty much did most of it live with Mike on the drums versus like doing it in pieces parts. Of course, you go back and the guitar solos and some overdubs and background vocals. But we did it very more organic and old school on this one versus the new school way where every little piece is put together, which I love. And it came out, just as good, if not better.
Sure.
So I think we'll stick with that.
Right. And it's a fun way to work, too.
It's a great way to work. It was really like organic. Like, what should we do here? I don't know, just do that. Instead of like mapping it out. So. Right.
So being a producer yourself, is it difficult to relinquish that degree of control to another producer when you're working on your music?
I like the idea of working with another producer. We did play around with the idea of us producing our own record this time around, and I'm glad the guys in the band have faith in me to do that. But I'm also close to the music as well, and it's nice to have somebody have that outside ear from me. Mm-hmm. So we worked with Jason Sukoff, who was known to do a lot of metal, like super heavy metal, death metal bands, and we wanted a heavier sound anyway. So he was definitely the right guy to go with. He's like a new best friend. The dude is awesome, genius, mad scientist, genius behind the board. So I liked it. No, I don't mind giving it. I used to be very hands-on. I guess, I don't know, my older age, I'm just like, I'll sit back. I'll take suggestions and ideas and go for it.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, that's what it is. It's a band. I want Drowning Pool to be all 4 of us, and that's what makes the band versus, CJ's band or CV's band or Jason's band or Mike Luce's band. So.
Right. Sometimes it helps just to get that fresh perspective of somebody who's not that close to it.
Definitely. There's definitely a few things on the heavy aspect. Why don't you instead of ringing out, why don't you down pick here? Oh, yeah, good. Oh, yeah, that is heavy. Let's do that. So little things like that, which put the icing on the cake, if you will.
Yeah, right. So I understand you've been a Sweetwater customer for a while.
I've been a Sweetwater customer. I don't know how many years I came across you guys, and I can't tell you how much stuff I ordered.
Oh, that's awesome.
Online. I'm sure if you can check out my history here, I've ordered, really in the last, 5, 6, 7 years, I've got pretty much all my stuff from you guys. And they were friends, which has been really, really cool. But yeah, you guys are great. I see what you do with the guitars now. You guys take care of your instruments when they come in. You set them up. You got pictures of every single angle of everything. You know exactly what you're getting. And now, they're telling me you can go per, serial number and everything, man, which is really super cool. I mean, you know exactly what you're getting from here. And for those who haven't been to the complex, I mean, it's full of musicians. Everybody loves the gear. Everybody is hands-on, and it's a family vibe here. It's killer, man.
Yeah, that really is. A great place to be.
I was looking for the apartment complex tied on to it. I don't think people live here, man. Does anybody go home?
Yeah, it's easy to stay and just play with the toys, check all the new stuff out.
Yeah, full-on facility. It's awesome, and thank you for having me here. This is so cool.
We're so glad you made time. I know you're heading out to get started on the tour and everything.
It's first day of the tour. When I get back, we have some gaff tape. We'll just tape everything together until it works.
That's right. Have a good time with it. That's what matters.
Yes. So we're on it, but I can't wait to see the rest of the facility.
Cool. Yeah, we'll get you a tour.
I'll take one of these and one of those.
There you go. We'll get you some lunch too.
Some lunch, absolutely.
There you go. Then you'll be ready to play.
I'm ready now. Well, I will be as soon as they. I know they're about to finish up those guitars.
Yeah, right.
Those ESPs.
Right on. Man, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Great to see you. Good luck with the tour, and the album just dropped as we're
last
filming
week.
this.
Hellelujah.
Hope that does great as well. And please come back.
Oh, definitely.
We'll be back here.
I'm going to make sure I get here a day early next time so we can. I can really just hang out.
There you go.
I don't have to rush on out.
Right. We'll look forward to it.
All right. Thanks.
You bet. Thank you. I'm Mitch Gallagher. Thanks for joining me for Sweetwater's Guitars and Gear.